What's good, Roughnecks fans, and welcome back to the Rough 'em Up podcast. I'm your host, Colin Watkins, and I'm going to take these off. I don't even know why I have these on. I'm so sorry for the room today, by the way. I have my English papers in the back here, as y'all know. Busy college season, but it doesn't matter. I don't care, because yesterday, the UFL schedule released, and you already know your boy is having to cover it, as well as I'll be giving predictions on every game result for the Houston Roughnecks. So this is a bold video of me to do today. It is bold of me to do this because I know some of y'all may go back at the end of the season and say, Colin, you said we were going to do way worse, or you said we we're going to do way better than we actually did. You suck. It's a prediction. It's all prediction based. I do not know the future. I wish I did, but I'm super excited for this video. I hope you are excited as well. And before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. We are growing rapidly here, especially ever since joining the Pro Football Newsroom. Shout out to my guys, the ref. Shout out to him. I know he's got a season tickets for the Houston Roughnecks, so I can't wait to see him out at games. By the way, I'm getting my tickets next week. Probably going to be season tickets, so I'd love to see you out there. Stop by and say hi. I'd love to see y'all. Where do we even start? So first, we'll start with this. I'll start by giving the schedule, and then we'll go into my predictions for each. It's a real simple video. Week 1, we have the Memphis Showboats at home at Rice here in H-Town. Really nice that the first game of the season is in Houston. Really excited for it. And in case y'all missed it, Rice is the new home of the Houston Roughnecks since TDECU, which is actually right down the road from me, is under renovations for this season. Week 2, we have the DC Defenders, and we'll be playing them at Audi Field in DC. Week 3, we have the Michigan Panthers, 2 road games in a row. We will be going to Michigan at Ford Field for that one. Week 4, we have the Arlington Renegades. They'll be coming here to Rice, so that I'm really excited. That's our revenge game for the South Division Championship. Week 5, we have the Birmingham Stallions, our first of 2 matchups with them. They will be here in Houston for the first game. Week 6, we have a big matchup with the St. Louis Battlehawks in the Dome in St. Louis. When I saw that on the schedule, that's like the thing that stood out to me the most, is that we were going to be playing in the Dome. I believe it's the first time that the Roughnecks have ever played inside the Dome in St. Louis. Week 7, Wade Phillips and the San Antonio Brahmas are coming here to H-Town, to Rice. Week 8, we will be going to the Birmingham Stallions at Protective in Birmingham. Week 9, the Michigan Panthers will be coming here. And then week 10, we will finish the season, the regular season off, with the Memphis Showboats, and we will be going to Liberty, I just call it Liberty Stadium, but we'll be going to Memphis for that. So it's a good little schedule we got here. I'm glad, the DC game, the St. Louis game, that's going to be real tough because we're playing in arguably the 2 loudest and best home stadiums in the whole league with Audi Field and the Dome. It's nice that we have the Brahmas here, and then our regular division games. Those are the most important ones that we're going to have to win. But now y'all are here for the good stuff. This is what y'all wanted. This is why y'all clicked on the video. I'll now be going over my predictions for each and every game. I wanted to get all the intro, all that stuff out of the way because I actually have class in like 30 minutes, so I gotta get hurrying up. Week 1, I'm predicting that we will have a win versus the Memphis Showboats. The Roughnecks were 2-0 all-time in opening day games, and I think it will continue. We're playing at home like we always have on opening day. I definitely think the initial presence of the Houston fans will dominate the Showboats team, and our defense will be elite in this game. Mark my words. And too, because y'all know this, if you follow spring football, y'all understand that defense is always better than the offense early on, due to lack of training camp time, new coaching staff, whatever. And this Houston defense is looking great. Probably the best, definitely the best in my opinion, in the USFL division. And I think it's going to show. you have with Memphis, the old Breakers coach. He is now the head coach, and you have Case Cookus, so there may be some struggle clicking early on for the Memphis Showboats. And I think even whoever's starting for us, whether it's Sinet or Henderson, whatever, I think Thompson and the running backs will carry this offense to a week 1 win. I think we'll start off this season 1-0. Pretty easy. I'm not too worried about the Memphis Showboats week 1. Week 2, we have the battle of the two most dominant running backs last year, Mark Thompson and Abram Smith with the DC Defenders. I think we'll have our first loss against DC. I mean, DC's coming off a 9-1 year. Yes, they don't have Derek King or Jordan Teamu, but they're still stacked. Jalen McClendon, if he starts, he had a great year with Las Vegas last season. Reggie Barlow, Fred Keiss, Greg Williams, they're all back so far as we know. There may be some changes before the season starts, but I doubt it. Elite coaching staff. There's a reason they went 9-1 last year. Abram Smith in the backfield is a huge weapon. You're in DC. Davin Bellamy, Reggie Northrup, Michael Joseph, DJ Swearinger. The defense is once again stacked. I don't know. I think it may be close, hopefully, but I just think DC has the edge week 2. If they were in Houston, maybe it would be a little different, but DC is just so hard to play in. Next thing we know, we're going to have lemons being thrown at our coaches and players. It's DC, but yeah, I think we go 1-1 in the first two weeks. Week 3, I think, because we have the Michigan Panthers, I think the Roughnecks cruise to a Week 3 win against Michigan in Michigan. I just don't have a lot of hope for the Michigan Panthers. I really don't. And this is a fun video because this is the first time y'all are hearing my opinions and thoughts on the other teams, not just the Roughnecks. Yeah, I think the Roughnecks will go into Ford Field and win easily. It may be a good fight, but I definitely think the Roughnecks will easily pull it out. With the Michigan Panthers, I don't have faith in Mike Nolan. I am not a Mike Nolan fan, and I think there's a reason why he has never had a winning record in all of his years as a head coach. Michigan fans may combat me on this. They may get mad at me on this. I don't care. He has not had a winning season in all his years as a head coach, both in the NFL and USFL, and I think it's for a reason. Sure, Matt Colburn, he's back. Wes Hills, he'll be there, but I don't think this O-line is as good as the Breakers O-line last year, and I think Wes Hills, I don't know. I don't think he'll put up the numbers he did last year. And two, about the Roughnecks, I think we could see our offense start shining through here, whether it's Reed Sinet or Noah Henderson. I think week 3 you start seeing some better quarterback play out of everyone, but specifically Reed Sinet or Noah Henderson. As of right now, I'm counting on one of those two guys to be the starters, and I'm fine with either one of them. I actually really like one of them. But after week 3, I predict we have a 2-1 record. Week 4, we get our revenge for the South Division Championship as the Roughnecks defeat the Renegades here in H-Town. I think Reed Sinet will, or I think whoever's at quarterback will perform well once again. And two, this is a rivalry game, so you already know the best of the best is going to be out of these players. These players are going to want to win this, especially former Roughnecks guys who are still on the team. Oh, they're going to want to slaughter the Arlington Renegades. Roughnecks should have won last year in the South Division Championship. They got blown out. Okay, not blown out, but it was no competition in the South Division Championship. So this is the chance. This is revenge for the Roughnecks, and I think they will go through. And as well, Arlington is just a great unknown this season. I think they're either going to be amazing or they're going to be mid. One of the two. I don't think they're either going to be bottom 2 or top of the XFL division. I don't think they're going to be 2 or maybe even 3. Well, okay, you do have Lindsey Scott Jr. and Luis Perez, but the thing is, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I'm not a Bob Stoops fan. And two, you cannot tell me that Bob Stoops has been a successful head coach in these spring leagues besides his fluke playoff run because he got bailed out by Luis Perez. He has failed as a head coach in every regular season in these spring leagues. It's different than his Oklahoma days. When he was in Oklahoma, he was handed, or okay, not handed, but he had some of the best college players in the nation. All of a sudden, when you start getting into spring league territory where players are sort of more unknown, Stoops has not had a lot of success in the regular season. Plus, he is absolutely allergic to beating Houston. He's never beat Houston in the regular season. He was luckily able to beat Houston in the playoffs, but we'll see if that continues. I don't know. The Renegades have gotten better. I think the defense has gotten better as well, but our defense will either, if Perez is in there, our defense will push him where he has to go mobile and he has to make plays. And Lindsey Scott is just a big unknown in a good way. That's really the only way I see the Renegades winning this game is if Lindsey Scott decides to just be PJ Walker 2.0. Week 5, we have the Stallions, and I think that the Stallions will get the best of the Roughnecks at home. I think they will beat us at home 17-3 over 2 seasons, the Birmingham Stallions. I believe I'm correct about that. I calculated it myself. But 17-3, they always find a way to win. Always find a way to win. Skip Holtz, Jamar Smith has the potential definitely to win this division, the USFL division. And Jamar Smith and Skip Holtz, they proved it in 2022 when Jamar Smith was the starter. They went 9-1. You can't really beat that. We'll be in Houston, but I just think the Stallions with the first matchup with the Roughnecks, they'll get the best of them. Sort of like DC, it'll be a hard team, hard matchup, and I think they'll get the best of us. Week 6, I definitely think this is a big one. I think that the Houston Roughnecks will shut out the Dome and beat the St. Louis Battlehawks and leave St. Louis with the W. I'm just gonna get a lot of hate from this video, but I gotta make these points because someone has to say them. I'm not afraid to say them. My view on the Battlehawks this year is that if A.J. McCarron does not come back and they do not pick up a big-time quarterback, I think the Battlehawks are going to struggle. Let's be honest. The Battlehawks did really well last year because of the leadership and play of A.J. McCarron. Sure, there's talent on that team. Big time. Ja'Cour Pearson, Pita, Pita, the XFL Defensive Player of the Year last year. I cannot say his last name for the life of me. Sure, they've gotten a lot better. They have some of the best guys in the league. I want to see what their quarterback situation is. So here's the deal. If A.J. McCarron does not play for the St. Louis Battlehawks, Roughnecks pick up the win in the Dome. Alright? If A.J. McCarron does play, it's a different story because we saw what happened last year. A.J. McCarron is another beast. But I don't think A.J. is going to be coming back, especially with all the union drama. I don't think A.J. is coming back. So I think the Roughnecks will pick up the win. And hopefully by week 6 our passing attack is alright, or more than alright, and we can be more consistent with the pass and run game. I think our running game will be there since week 1, but our passing game may take a little while. Week 7, we have the Brahmas and Houston. I think Wade Phillips will pick up the W on his return to Houston. The Brahmas just look stacked. They have over 30 players that they're going to need to cut maybe 25 guys once training camp rolls around, but this Brahmas team is the old Roughnecks on steroids. You add Cody Latimer, you add John Trey Kirkland, Kalen Balaj, Dormady or Cohen. I want Quentin Dormady to start based on how successful he was in Orlando last year, but they're going to be a tough team to beat. And Wade Phillips defense, A.J. Smith offense. I think they're just going to get the best of the Roughnecks. Yeah, I want to see how our defense will do, but it's going to be a big challenge I think we're not going to be able to do. So week 7 lost to the San Antonio Brahmas, as much as I hate to say. Now week 8, I think we will go into protective and beat the Stallions. I think we will in week 8. I'm not too nervous about the home field or anything of that. I just think that we'll learn our mistakes from the week 5 game against the Stallions, and we will use that to win. And you got to look at the history. The Gamblers in both years of their existence, remember the Gamblers is pretty much the Roughnecks now, the Gamblers have history of beating the Stallions. We're like the only team that can actually sort of beat the Stallions. So I think this trend continues. I think this coaching staff, they've seen the Stallions enough. And I think we go into protective and we take the Stallions number. Week 9, I think the Roughnecks finished their season finale with a win against the Panthers. Again, y'all know my opinions on the Michigan Panthers this year. I don't think they're going to be very good. They ranked bottom a lot of stats last season in the USFL. Not a fan of Mike Nolan. It may be a little closer as Michigan's offense gets better, but so will we. So I'm not too worried. I definitely think our season finale at home will be a win against the Michigan Panthers. Not too worried about that one either. But Week 10 will be in Memphis against the Showboats, and I definitely think that the Roughnecks will... I don't know. Memphis looks pretty good. Memphis does look pretty good, and for that reason, I think the Roughnecks might lose that season finale against Memphis, which worries me because that game may have a lot of playoff implication in it. If we need to beat Memphis, we're going to have to beat them at home in Memphis. And vice versa for the Showboats. I think Case Cookus, Del Filipino, the head coach, I definitely like them. I do like them a lot. I think there's a lot of talent on that Memphis team. And even Curtis Johnson, our head coach, he mentioned that, the Showboats were one of the better teams last year, and he thinks that they're going to be a good team in the league this year as well. But who knows? Who knows with any of this stuff? This is all purely speculation. I did not mean to... What's the right word? I did not mean to offend anyone in this video. It's purely just for entertainment reasons. The bottom line is, I'm so excited for the UFL season. Probably the most excited I've ever been in all of my time following spring football. This is awesome. The fact that we're talking about the Houston Roughnecks playing the Birmingham Stallions, while also being able to play the Defenders and playing the Memphis Showboats, is a dream come true. So all of us watching, if you are a spring football fan, this is a W for spring football. This is huge for spring football fans. It's going to be a fun season. But tell me your thoughts down below. With that, I think we will finish 6-4 this season. All right, that's like we'll finish 6-4, in my opinion. Again, all speculation, but we will revisit this video at the very end of the season and see how my predictions are. If we end up going 6-4. Great, but if we're able to follow the exact win-loss predictions as I've made, even better. But we just don't know. Training camp hasn't even started. But I'll be giving you more updates and information as training camp starts in February because we're going to have a lot of storylines to follow, and y'all want to be up in the loop. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and remember, shout out to Pro Football Newsroom. Check them out in the description down below. Thank you so much, everyone. And remember, go Roughnecks, baby. I'll see you next time.